Hi, I hope everyone's doing well. I wanted to just come on and start answering some of these really good questions that people submitted to me either on my Facebook page or by email or by messenger for the question and answer session. I feel there might be too many for one session. I don't like to do these more than half an hour. So I'll hit as many as I can, keep track of the time. And if I don't get to all, which I really don't think I will do another video in the coming days. Okay. But thank you all for the great questions. I appreciate it. I'm always happy to give my opinion. And please, that's what this is. This is all my opinion. So take it for what you will. If anything resonates with you, great. If not, leave it. Ooh, orb. Did everyone see the orb? Okay. So yes, so that's spirit saying, listen to me if it resonates with you, and if it doesn't, leave it behind because it's your journey, not mine. Okay, so first question comes from Karine, and she actually sent me a message right after this question and said that I answered her question in another video, but I do feel still a good question. Hopefully it will help some of you who are listening as well. Okay, so from Karine, I'm absolutely thrilled about training, practicing, trance speaking, writing, healing. I feel this is one of the reasons I'm developing slowly but surely in this area, as I know my love for this raises the vibration. Yes, love for what you do, love for wanting to help always raises your vibration. And I do feel the spirit world need a high vibration to work clearly through us. She goes on, with evidential mediumship, I stumble over and over. So of course my vibration belief in my ability suffers and the cycle continues. I know the practice, sitting in the power, blending do help, but this work is so much more challenging for me than trance. Is this still me getting in my own way, or is spirit sending me a message? I would love some general clarification about this. Also, just clarifying that I should not be reading for people I've known for years. Okay, so I did do a video on spiritual teachings and spirit inspirations, and I believe her question was answered. Yes, for the Glenn Edwards video I did about, she was Gordon Higginson that said to him, when you go into a mediumship reading, you need to leave evidential. You need to leave all your wants and desires behind and allow the spirit world to unfold what they are coming to say. So any wants and needs that you have, like I'm going to bring through a name, I'm going to bring through description, memories, see, hear, feel, taste, smell, all of that are your wants, not the spirit world's wants. So just attempt to endeavor to discover why they are coming through and let them do it. They'll work everything out. So I find when you go into mediumship readings, evidential mediumship, with too many wants and needs that we're placing on ourselves and then trying to place onto the spirit communicator, everything starts to get a bit haywire. So better just to let it come the way the spirit communicator wants it to come. And that, I believe, was the answer to that question that she had. In terms of, Karine, in terms of your trance versus evidential, trance, I've worked with you enough in trance, so I know that you see that the surrendering and trust that you need to hand over to the spirit world to allow them to work through you in an altered state, in an entranced state for trance, that's imperative. So you seem to be doing that quite well, but just try to now take this surrendering and this trust and sort of cut and paste it on your evidential reading, because that's really all it is. And I do believe all mediumship and healing is a bit of an altered state anyway. So just see if you can relax into the evidential readings and don't try not to get so nervous. It's sort of the same concept. Obviously, you're dealing with mental mediumship in a perceived form, which is evidential, meaning you're perceiving what the spirit communicator is impressing through your clairs. And trance is mental mediumship in a controlled form, where you're just allowing them to control your physicality, speaking through you, healing through you, writing through you, doing music, doing art, whatever. But it's all a level of surrender. So just see if you can try to, even if you have to fake it, the confidence going into an evidential reading, but also really work on a surrendering, and that will help. When I do an evidential reading, I completely surrender myself to spirit. I give whatever I get, And I try not to let my monkey mind, my conscious mind, kick in and say, oh, that was wrong, bad reading, you're doing so badly. I really try to just stay in the spirit energy and surrender myself fully, and I let them unfold why they're coming and what they want to say. Her last question is a good question, actually. Also, just clarifying that I should not be reading for people I've known for years. I mean, if you don't have a quantity of sitters, if you having a problem finding sitters to work with, you can work with people you've known for years, but it becomes difficult because you know a lot about them. You know about their lives, you know about their past loved ones, friends, animals, things like that in spirit. So your memory can kick on. So if you are working with someone that you've read before or that you know very well, you just have to make a deal with spirit that they will bring through things that you do not know. I personally don't like reading friends that I've known for a long time or family members because I know too much, and then my conscious mind kicks on. So I prefer actually not to know the sitter at all when I work with them, and I tend it's kind of like fresh meat in a way, and that's better. So yeah, listen, there are tons of practice groups out there. You can always look for sitters that you don't know and practice your beautiful abilities. Okay, so that's that question. Okay, the next questions come from Kylie. Kylie asked a whole bunch of questions. I'm just going to do this one, and this goes into 3 or 4 parts, and I will then I'll address the other questions she had in a later video. I scheduled an evidential reading with the client last evening. After I did my intro, I could feel myself falling into a light trance. I knew immediately the reading was switching into trance channeling. Trance and channeling are the same thing, so a trance reading or a channeled reading. More accurately, an inspired speaking, as I did not let myself fall into a deeper state. So that's what I gave her. At the end, I pulled through 2 loved ones and did a mini evidential mediumship reading with her. First of all, my question to you is, was the sitter happy with that? If she was coming to you for an evidential reading, but it flipped into something else, I do believe the spirit world is in control of what we're doing. But was the sitter happy? I'm feeling that she was. So let me know. So because I don't think there's any coincidences or chances in spirit. But her questions are: does this happen often, going into a light trance? Because this is the first time this is happening to me. It can happen. If a sitter is coming to me for an evidential reading, and like I said before, for Kareen's question, I think any form of mediumship is a, a bit of an altered state. So I try not to let myself fall into a full trance, because that's not what they're coming to me for, especially if they don't know what trance is, and then their energy gets all weird, and you're kind of trying to hit a moving target in a way when the sitter is sitting in front of you and they don't know what's going on. So it does happen. It happened to me years ago when I was developing. I'm still developing, but in sort of like the mid development level that I was at. So you can pull yourself back out of it and don't let yourself go in it, or you can really stay with the evidential reading, pull yourself back out, do the evidential reading, and then explain to the city, I'm feeling like I want to give you an inspired talk, or the spirit world wants to speak through me to give you inspiration, guidance, counsel, and then let them do what they want to do. Her second part of the question was, I definitely set the intention for an evidential mediumship reading, so I'm a little confused as to why it turned into trance, unless it was going to be trance evidential, but I didn't take it that deep. Yeah, I wouldn't, trance evidential, I wouldn't get into with a sitter unless you have booked a trance evidential reading. But set the intention from, look, your development, Kyla, I know you quite well, your development is really kicking up. So the spirit world is trying all different things with you, because they're experimenting with you the way you're experimenting with them. Respectfully, please, but it's always good to experiment. So speak with them after and say, thank you for working with me in the altered state in trance, but if I could just stick to what I'm promising my sitter I'm going to deliver, which was evidential, at the end, I will make time. If I feel this altered state coming, this entrancement coming over me like a wave, it's like a wave of just peace that sort of brings you down a bit. And then, so make room for them if that's what they want to do, but try just to set the boundaries with them, because I think boundaries are really on us to say to spirit, that's good, but leave it for then. Please don't, call my name out in the middle of the night. Please don't hang around corners because you're scaring me, things like that. But yeah, I would set the intention a bit stronger, but then speak to the spirit world and say, thank you very much. I appreciate your development, but if I'm booked for an evidential reading, let's keep it that way. And I promise that if I feel this entranced state coming on at the end of the reading, I will give you my voice and allow you to do what you need to do for the sitter. And our third part of the question, should I have just let myself go into a deeper trance and let the reading unfold as it was meant to? I'm still not sure why I stopped myself from going deeper. I think it's fine that you stopped yourself from going deeper because that's not what the sitter was coming to get from you. So I think you did everything right. The only thing I would do is maybe, as I just mentioned at the end, make room for what you feel the spirit will want to do through you. And then you're making everyone happy. And her last part of the question was, should I not label the readings in advance and let spirit take it where it wants to go? No, I don't think so. I think it's the intention is important, and why a sitter is coming to you is important. If they want an evidential reading, give them an evidential reading. Like I said, at the end of the reading, if you feel they want to do an inspired speaking through to do inspired speaking through you, sorry, then make the room for that and just explain to your sitter what might happen during that. Because if they don't, you'd have to explain what all these things are to a sitter in advance, like a disclaimer, and that's a lot of work. So if they're coming to you for an evidential reading, do an evidential reading. If they're coming to you for a trance guidance and counsel, give them that. If they're coming for a trance evidential reading, then give them that. But like I said, just keep a little room at the end, because I feel they are developing you really quickly now. So leave a bit of freedom in there for them after you give the sitter what they want. Okay, I hope that helps. Thank you for all the lovely questions, Kylie. Okay, so the next one is from Tony. How do I snap myself out of getting discouraged about my mediumship journey? I haven't been able to practice readings in a while because my schedule is so busy, and it never seems like I don't have the time to do anything like this anymore. I feel sad about this because I miss doing practice readings, or is this also part of the journey? Schedule meaning work. I think the spirit world understands that we need to make a living and we need to work. So spirit doesn't turn their back on us. They wait patiently. Spirit has all the time in the world. We don't. So I would see if you could just listen. Everyone's work, earning money situation is different. So I can't tell you what to do, but I would try at least to etch out maybe, or carve out one day, one evening, possibly a week, that you can sit in a practice circle or set up some practice readings just for like maybe an hour or two. I'm assuming you can find an hour a week to do this, or an hour every 2 weeks. If you're really being pulled to do this and you feel sad about not practicing, and you feel like something in your spirit is not being fulfilled by sitting in the presence of the spirit during a reading, then you'll make the time. If you really don't have time, then I would at least try in the morning with your coffee or your tea, and before you go online or turn on the TV or check emails, just see if you can sit in the presence of the spirit for about 10 minutes, meaning sit in the presence of the spirit world, and just let them work with you and let them start this transference of energy back and forth. But yeah, don't worry about the spirit world getting discouraged with you. They will wait patiently. Okay, they have time. We have time as well, but in this physical realm, we have the time that's given to us, obviously, on Earth. But yeah, don't get so discouraged. Don't feel bad about feeling bad. Is about what I'm saying. Just see if you can try to practice at least for an hour. What is today? Tuesday. See if you can practice at least for an hour this week or next week, and you'll see it'll make you feel better. Anything I do with spirit, I always feel better. So it's like a drug in a way. And then I seek out more situations where I can just work with spirit and work with other people. But don't worry, it's not going to go away. Okay, so the next question, actually 3 people asked the same question. or wanted to ask the same question about physical mediumship. What would be some good suggestions to practice physical mediumship at home, alone, or with sitters? I haven't seen many physical mediumship circles anywhere yet. And Kylie asked that, Jolie had the same question, and Jane had the same question. It's a hard thing to do on your own because it's objective and everyone should be experiencing the same thing you are. You can, in the beginning, sit in if you have like a guest bathroom that isn't so big, or even like a linen closet. But just bear with me, I'm not crazy when I'm saying this. But you're going into a contained space and you just sit there and you build your power and you drop yourself into a light trance, meaning you just remove yourself out of the way, and then you'll feel, because you're in this contained space, the energy will start building. And that's a good way to start. It's like going to the gym and building your tolerance and building your muscle strength. And that's a good way to start. That's fine to do on your own. I have done physical mediumship circles online. So you can, I mean, right now we have 3 people asking these questions. So you have Kylie, Jolie, and Jane, and they all actually, I had the pleasure of working with all of them in some physical mediumship situations in Maryland in June. You can do them online. You just, it takes a bit of preps because you need to be in a room that's pretty much dark. I mean, so you have to block out your windows or at least subdued light, and then you can just go get like a red light bulb, LED or a regular light bulb, and have it so it's just red light, and you just sit with each other. And then, so if Kylie, you go first, you're the medium, and the 2 other people, those are the batteries in the spirit world, can use their energy mixed with your energy and also with their energy. And then you'll see things start to happen. When I've done them online, it's lighter for sure, but I've gotten transfiguration, meaning you can see a spirit face forming over the face of the medium who's sitting in the red light. The 2 other mediums can coax the spirit world to speak, and the spirit world actually work quite well with electronics. So you might hear talking, or you might ask them a question. You might hear some sort, it might sound like feedback or background noise, but I've gotten independent direct voice, meaning they're speaking back, and it's a totally different voice than anyone in the circle. But there are a few online circles. You have to look for them. They're not as popular as evidential circles, of course. But when I've done them, they're great. They're like 2.5, 3 hours. So it's a lot, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of prep. You can't really take a break because you'd have to leave the space that you're building the energy in. You have to black out all your windows. So it's pretty dark. And you need the red light. So it's doable online, even with 1 other person. But in terms of doing it alone, like I said, you can just sit in a contained space. You can even get one of these vertical tents, like changing tents that people use on the beach, or sometimes I think they put a portable toilet in them. So they're high, and they're like for 1 person, they're just like that wide, and you can sit in that. I actually just bought one. But yeah, I think if there's a will, there's a way. So like I said, right away, you have Kylie, Jolie, and Jane. So you guys are all connected anyway, I believe. So just, I'm happy to help. Reach out to me if you're thinking about sitting together online, and I can help you. It's obviously better in person, but I think the spirit world understands we're all over the world at this point. So try it. It's fun. I would definitely try to do it. Okay, so Kylie had a whole other bunch of questions. I'm going to leave this for the next one. Okay, so let me just get to these last 3 questions. I think I'm coming up on my time. How do you move into paid readings, and what is your opinion on charging? Some people have said that charging is wrong. Okay, it's 2-level question. I think once you've done about 100 readings, practice readings, whether they be in circles or you're seeking out sitters, practice partners, and you're happy with the results, not 100%, no one's 100%, and the sitter's happy with the results. And you can do a reading that would be from beginning to end about 45 minutes. But within that 45 minutes, you have 5 minutes in the beginning to give your elevator speech, how you work, how you give mediumship readings, what you need from the sitter, how it's important for the sitter to raise their vibration, all of these things. And at the end, about 5 minutes at the end, just to tie everything up in a nice bow and hand it to the sitter. So the reading is about 30 to 35 minutes. I think that's fine. And you can bring through at least two contacts and do two well-formed, complete readings in 15 minutes apiece. Then I think you're ready and you're happy with the results. In terms of charging, that's something that people ask me all the time. Listen, I can't speak for you, Jackie, but for me, if I think about the money I've spent on classes that I've taken, workshops I've gone to, retreats I've gone to, the books I've bought, um, teacher mentorships, all this is a lot of money. Traveling to these places, that's a lot of money. So I think we have the right to make money when we do this, especially for those of us who want to move into this full time. I think the spirit world will always provide. So I think it's okay to charge because you're investing a lot. But I think there's a limit to what people should charge. I'm not a fan of people charging really, really high rates for a reading or a healing. I think it should be accessible for everybody. Everyone has a different financial situation, so I'd never tell anybody how much to charge, but I always try to keep my readings at a reasonable rate, okay? Because I want to make them accessible to everybody. Okay, next question. What is your opinion on certificates or certifications? I don't know. I mean, I have the Spiritualist National Union certification, and I have some others in meditation and things like that. I don't know if these certifications made me a better medium or healer. Okay, I think my SNU, the Spiritualist National Union certification, that strengthened my foundation. And it helped me in learning the mechanics of mediumship and also understanding the history of spiritualism, which is what I am. I'm a spiritualist. So it helped me there. Not to be shady, but I've seen a lot of people who have certifications from different mediumship schools, and I don't think they're any better than mediums that don't have certifications. So I don't really use that as a guide for how good a medium is. I think some people want it, which is great, and it helps their self-esteem and their confidence, so then the readings are better. So I think it's all relative. People have asked me if I offer certificates, but like I said, I don't know if it really makes you a better medium at the end of the day. I think it can help your foundation and your understanding of the mechanics of mediumship, but that's about it. Okay, so the next question, probably second to last questions. I've heard you mention that you are a vegan. Yes, I am. And I do not, and you do not drink coffee or alcohol. Is this because of your development or personal choices? Um, I actually became that my development and becoming a medium, that was sort of parallel. They happened at the same time. I really went on to like a vegan lifestyle just because I love animals, and I watched some horrible videos and movies on meat industry, fish industry, dairy, eggs, all that. So that was really the reason. And for me, I don't want, this is my opinion, and just for me, I feel that eating plant-based just helps my vibration and keeps it up. Okay. There are some passages from Silver Birch, and I believe also from Red Cloud Spirit Guides, where these questions were asked like 50, 60, 70 years ago. And he had a good explanation for it. They called it vegetarian at that point. Maybe I'll do a video at that point. But he also, definitely Silver Birch was saying that it helps the vibration if it's plant-based. The reason I don't drink coffee or alcohol, I don't know if it's connected to my development, but it really is because I developed vertigo, and coffee and alcohol are triggers. But I also feel during my development that my body was doing things to clear me, to remove stimulants from my system. So I honestly, if I drink coffee or drink alcohol now, I get vertigo and I get physically ill. So I don't, and now I'm fine without it. I'm high enough on spirit energy. But like I said, it's all personal choices. I know tons and tons and tons of really good mediums who eat meat, who drink coffee, who drink alcohol, and they're just as good. The only thing I say about the alcohol and any other controlled substances, also my opinion, I don't think they belong in spirit work. So after you're done working, if you want to spark one up or toss one back, go ahead. Have fun. I'm jealous, but go have fun. During a reading, I really wouldn't. Okay, so last question is, okay, I just have to grab my books from behind me because it's a book question. I know that you read a lot of vintage spiritualism books. Yes, I do. I'm psychotic with them. What book would you suggest getting that doesn't cost fortune? Yeah, that's the issue with these books. Yeah, the older books are really expensive. The best book that I have read, Robert, that's the question, is honestly this one. You can see all the crazy posts I've done in it. I have to put them in some sort of document. On the Side of Angels, Gordon Higginson. This is an amazing book because it talks about his whole journey, his life journey and his mediumship unfoldment. And this is probably not even answering your question. I know you can get this book through the SNU in the UK. I don't think it's that expensive. The problem with a lot of these books in the States, they're really expensive. That's a great book. Gordon Higginson was the president of the Spiritualist National Union and the head of Arthur Findlay College, and was sort of responsible in bringing the SNU back from the brink of bankruptcy. He passed in the early 90s, and I believe he okayed the proofs of this book, the galleys of his book, not long before he passed. And it just talks about also the challenges he had as a medium, criticism, calling him a fraud, his development, and his views on spirit work, spiritualism, and mediumship. I love, once again, on the Side of Angels. I know you can, like I said, I know you can get in the UK. I know you can get in the States. It might be too expensive. The other books that I know are very, very readily available are Silver Birch books. You can get them as downloads for your Kindle or for your iPad. You can also get them through the Spiritual Truth Foundation. That's also based in the UK. They're not so expensive. I think you're paying probably, if you're in the States, a lot for postage, but that's about it. The other book, it's just coming to me, so I'm not prepared, but it's called The Blue Island, and it's spiritual teachings by W.T. Stead and his daughter Estelle Stead. That I know, and I've gotten the newer version of it, I believe from Amazon. So I don't think that's so expensive, and that has like 3 or 4 different books in it. So it's a volume of books. That's really good, and yeah, I am a firm and big believer in reading spiritual teaching books because there's something I can always learn. The Silver Birch books are amazing. There are tons of them. There are a lot of different Silver Birch books, and they're just beautiful teachings, and they help me through understanding how the spirit world works in relation to the physical world and what they need from us as mediums, as their channel and vessel to work through us. Okay, so that's video number 1. I definitely, as going through all the questions, I can definitely do another video, so I will do that in the coming days. Thank you very much, and I will see you all soon. Have a lovely day. Bye.